Welcome back, Christopher Aaron. In this video, we're going to talk about the single most important chart if you are investing in silver or gold miners.
Guys, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and if you have 1 second to give it a thumbs up, I would very much appreciate it. It does help out. Last but not least, certain weeks I have a chance to post for free on X or Twitter at iGlobalGold, so make sure to follow us there. Okay, so what am I talking about? This is going to be the most important valuation signal that we are talking about for investors in gold and silver miners right now. What am I talking about is the mining sector, the gold and silver mining sector, to the S&P 500 ratio. So we're looking at a relative comparison here between all of the gold and silver miners. This is the large caps, the XAU index, compared to what? The largest index for the US stock market. And what you want to pay attention to is, notice here, we're looking at a 45-year chart. What you want to pay attention to is the fact that this level at the last major peak for precious metals, which was 2011, this ratio got up to a level of 0.2. Where are we right now? We are all the way down here, less than 0.06. And so, what this ratio is telling us here is that the gold and silver miners are nowhere near the valuation that we would expect them to be at if this was a long-term peak for, let's say, gold or silver themselves right now. And so I see a lot of people worrying right now saying, gold is sort of above 5,000, below 5,000, above it again. Silver has fallen back from 120 back down to 75. I see a lot of people out there worrying that maybe this was a long-term peak. We are nowhere near a long-term peak level as far as the valuation of these companies go. Remember, 2011 was a 10-year peak for the precious metals. So we know what a long-term peak level looks like. It's right up here at 2011. This is not a long-term peak for the precious metals right now. And in fact, to get back to where this ratio was in 2011 from the present level, the average gold and silver miner would need to rise by 225% just to get back to that former level. So we are nowhere near a peak level right now for the mining sector. To make it even more dramatic, if we were to go back to the level that was hit in the early 1980s, the 1980 peak for gold and silver, which was what? A multi-decade peak. We're talking about a final mania that lasted for a number of decades. If we were to go back to that level, which I think is coming over the years ahead, it's not going to happen overnight, but over the years ahead, to get back to that 1980 peak from the present level, all we're doing is looking at a level that the mining sector was valued at in the past compared to the general stock market. To get back to that level, the average gold and silver miner would need to rise by 1,500%, okay? And remember one other thing too. This is the average miner. The small cap miners, if you're investing in a lot of the small cap miners with us, they're going to end up going higher than this because at the end of the wave and the final part of the mania that is going to develop in gold and silver over the years ahead, the junior and the small cap miners are really going to outperform the seniors. That is coming. So back to the main point. Where we are right now in the valuation of the gold and silver miners is nowhere near any of the former peak levels, whether we're talking about the 2011 peak or the 1980 peak. And so if you are afraid right now and you're thinking, this is it, this is a peak level, the metals have topped, you really have to pay attention to this chart and know what you hold and make sure, are you positioned properly in the gold and silver miners right now, because this is not a peak level
If you like the kind of video that you've seen here today, you have to know that this is just scratching the surface. In our subscription called Precious Metals Intelligence Plus, we put out premium weekly members only videos that are much more in depth. You're only seeing a small fraction of the total analysis here. We cover not only silver, but also physical gold, the gold and silver mining sector. We cover the US stock market, the currency markets, commodities, Bitcoin, and you also get the exact buy and sell signals that we are making here every time we make a purchase, a sale, or a trade. You get those right to your email inbox the moment that we make a decision. If you are a serious precious metals investor, you cannot afford to be without this analysis. If you're a higher net worth investor, you have to understand the power of these private placements. In our service called Elite Private Placements, we negotiate with mining companies. I go out and I actually negotiate for better terms on all of the investments that we are making. We have a group of investors. We come in, we invest together in these mining companies, and you get the most leverage, the most upside possible in the mining companies when you invest in these private placements. Why? Because we get free warrants on every single investment that we make, and we often buy the shares at a discount. You also receive a free subscription to our flagship Precious Metals Intelligence Plus when you join us in the Elite Private Placements. If you would like to speak to myself, Christopher Aaron, one-on-one, just know that you can reach me on the Consultations tab on our website. You book right on the website. We sit down for 30 or 60 minutes. We talk by phone. We can do video consult. And I tell you exactly what I would do if I was in your situation with either respect to physical gold, physical silver, your gold or silver miners, the rest of your positions. And remember, I am a 100% independent analyst. I do not take any fees or any kickbacks from any of the bullion dealerships, any of the mining companies. And so I am able to tell you in as unbiased of a perspective what I would do exactly if I was in your situation. You can reach me on the website. You've seen the analysis. Get ready for it.